Hi y'all. The quality of the video is gonna change because I actually use my actual vlogging camera or just camera in general to film this crochet with me. Initially I was gonna make this into a whole vlog, but I had a couple of days to myself. My husband went to go see his family, and I wasn't able to go. So it's just been me and kind of like doing my own thing. And I didn't really feel like picking up my phone or camera to film, except for this crochet with me, which is really fun. I hope y'all enjoy it. Um, and let me know if you want more videos like this, because I feel like I talk a lot and it's fun to talk about these topics that no one talks about. So yeah, enjoy. Okay, let's see if this works. Focus, focus. I don't know if it's too bright right now where I am. Hold on. See, I thought opening all the windows would help with lighting, but yeah, I think that's fine. It's not blowing out my face completely. Um, but hi, you might notice the quality is a little bit different. I actually have a camera that I was gonna use for vlogging, but I just find using my phone is so much easier and like just more convenient, and I don't have to get my camera dirty by bringing it outside and cleaning it. Fun fact, I'm a big germaphobe. Me and my husband actually are. We went through pretty traumatic stuff with our health, specifically me, and so also my husband's a Virgo, so he loves, cleaning, I guess. So yeah, he and I just are super clean freaks. We don't bring anything in their house. They don't make it. We have like a little patch in front of the door. That's where we keep the dirty stuff, and we have to clean it before we bring in. I digress, but we go through a lot of alcohol wipes and Clorox wipes on the daily. But that wasn't the point of this. But I'm here. What am I doing? Sorry, my ADHD. I'm here because I'm gonna film a video like crochet with me kind of situation. I asked my peeps on Instagram what topics you wish people would talk about more publicly, like taboo topics, because I feel like growing up I didn't really have a lot of people that I could talk about these taboo topics. I still feel like I don't. I only have like a handful of people that I feel safe with, and I can actually talk to about these kind of things. So that's what we're gonna get into today. I have my chocolate electrolyte drink. I have like chronic dehydration issues, so my nutritionist has me drinking these like they're called Element. I think they just call it Element. ELMNT. I can link it below, but they're just like electrolyte waters, and I drink one a day. I usually share with my husband, but he's not here, so I'm just like full on electrolytes right now. Um, but they have this chocolate one that you can make into hot chocolate, and it makes your water taste like hot chocolate. So I love it. They also have like free stuff, which I love. But this is gonna be a crochet with me because I feel like those are always fun to watch. I'm actually making my husband's Christmas present right now, and this is gonna go after Christmas, so it's fine if he sees this. I'll probably start a project in the middle of this too. Hopefully, there's enough battery to with my ramblings, but if not, then I can charge and come back. But this is his Christmas present. I'm making him like a turtleneck hoodie cowl thing. I can link down below which video I kind of followed. I have a different yarn, so I'm just like, making it to my measurement, my liking. But this yarn is so pretty. Oh my gosh. Focus, focus. Look at that. Oh my god. And beautiful. I have two of these, two cakes. They're Karen spice cakes, or the Karen cake spice cakes. They're from Michael's. They had like a buy one get half off deal, and I was like, oh, perfect, because I still need, to make my Christmas present for him. And he's not here. He's coming back on Friday, so I have all the time to finish this. But basically, I wanted to make him this because we love wearing beanies, and I feel like this has been a really cold winter for the Bay Area. I mean, I moved up more north. I moved to San Mateo County, and so it's like way more colder than Santa Clara County, but like I'm still like struggling. So and I want to keep him warm. He has this issue where he doesn't want to wear the proper clothes, and like I'm hoping, because I made him this present, he'll wear it. He wears beanies, but this will cover his face and keep him warm. I want to make him gloves if I have enough yarn left to make like a matching set, but we'll see. Oh, the questions on Instagram. I think I took screenshots because sometimes Instagram literally deletes my story replies when I do like the polls and questions on it, and I'm like, why? Just put it in my archive. But anyways, I digress. Okay, so someone said they want to talk about, the topic. Again, the topic is things that you wish people would talk about more, because whether they be taboo or just people don't talk about it more. So someone said the difficulty in maintaining healthy, supportive relationships. Ooh, okay. That's a struggle that I've been having for literally forever. So I think I mentioned it, but I got diagnosed with bipolar at the beginning of the summer, yes, but not the beginning of the year, beginning of summer. And people are like, did that make you scared? Did that like ruin a lot of things for you? And honestly, I feel like it kind of answered so many things in my life, because I struggle with relationships and friendships, whatever that may be, and maintaining them. And also have ADHD, so I have like problems with object permanence and everything like that. Being like, oh, if you're not in my life directly, or we don't see each other often, I don't remember you exist. I'm sorry. So it's kind of hard to build those friendships. And like, thankfully, I think I'm at an age where we have like these friendships that you see each other like once or twice a year, and you're like the best of friends, and I love that. And that's where I thrive most, honestly. I mean, I do like having like a everyday group of friends, but honestly, this is such a cop out for me, because I literally married my best friend. As corny as that sounds, oh my god, I married my best friend, so literally I don't need or really want to see everyone every day except for him. Oh my god, it sounds so corny, but yeah, we have a good time by ourselves. And I'm very much like a independent person, so I like to do things by myself. This year it's been hard because of depression, and also every time I go out, I feel like I'm always in danger. So there's high trafficking issues here in the Bay, in California, in general in America, I feel like. So that makes me scared, because every time I go out, there's always sketchy people. But sorry to derail, but back to the question, or not question, it's just topic. Yeah, it's just really difficult for me to maintain certain friendships, and I feel like a lot of people don't understand that with my issues. And I am thankful for the friends that do share the same kind of mental health struggles or beliefs in maintaining friendships. And I need to make an effort though to reach out to people more, and I'm so thankful for the friends that I do have, and they're not like you need to talk to me every day or every week or whatever. So I'm thankful for that. But I know some people are, and that's totally fine. But I think sorry, I'm moving the cake here, but the more important thing is to be open in communication. It's very important to speak your mind and not think you're gonna sound crazy or clingy, because that's, you know, you're just speaking how you're feeling. And, you know, speak with kindness, I feel like. Also, sorry about if you can hear my laundry. But speaking with kindness and straightforward is very hard for people. Because, like, when people think of you're speaking straightforward, you sound rude. And, but that's just not how it has to be all the time. You know, it's not black or white. There's, like, nuances and relationship dynamics that you have to take into account, which I feel like is very important. So yeah, communication is everything. And actually, me and my husband Daniel wanted to make like this app where it's like a friendship app where you guys can like schedule a specific time based on your own calendar. It'll plan a day for you, and it will like give you options to do things. That's been on the back burner a little bit because, you know, I do full-time nursing school, which is like honestly a full-time job of itself. And then I'm trying to hone in my skills more with like crochet and fiber arts to make that into, I don't know. Okay, I originally wanted to make it like a business venture. This is another topic, another taboo, not on here, but I want to talk about this actually. Where people in this capitalist hellscape, we always find ourselves trying to monetize our talents, and sometimes you don't need to, and you can just do it for fun. And I have a hard time accepting that sometimes, and like I wish I was better at like just being like, yeah, just do things for fun. And I have been, because I haven't done any customs or anything. Customs are also another thing where like I want to price myself fairly, but I know the restraints of people and stuff like that. Currently I have like a art trade kind of situation Google form on my link tree. I can link that down below too, where I don't mind like trading like art and services. So like, for example, I had one of my tattoo artists actually reach out to trade a tattoo for a cardigan, and I feel like that's totally like doable and better for me than just like pricing something. And I just don't like customs because I'm a Sagittarius and I don't like having like no control in a way. And I'm also a people pleaser, so I feel like I'll let people control the situation. So I might just like, you know, make stuff and sell the finished products in the upcoming year. But every year, me and my husband have a goal for each other. So we have individual goals together, and then goals for one another. So his goal for me, I think for next year, is going to be being more active in the art community and like going to like these fairs and selling my stuff. And that makes me scared, but it's definitely one thing I want to do. So hopefully I can do it next year. But oh my god, I totally rambled. I don't know where I am anymore. Art fairs, monetizing, maintaining relationships. I don't know. Sorry, I hope I answered your question, because right now I am totally lost. Someone said rug burn on your finger. Yes. Also, I have eczema, so my hand is just like destroyed. I don't think people really talk about this actually, with like chronic illnesses such as like eczema and fiber arts. It's like we're very sensitive to things like this. It's like acrylic, I believe, just 100% acrylic, and it's fine, but it's a little bit scratchy. But I find when I use like wool, it feels so nice, but my hand is struggling, y'all. Like I just made a what did I make that had wool lately? I'm not entirely sure. I think it was, but anyways, like scratchy fibers I struggle with, because like my eczema is just like flaring up, especially because it's like winter. And the rug burn does not help because it like makes my skin all sensitive. It's a little bit my fault because I've been eating like shit, and my healing properties are not the best, but but yes, rug burn, real thing. Someone said the positives in their relationships. So I actually messaged this person because I wasn't sure if they meant like a specific relationship or they meant like any relationship. But they clarified that they wish like people would talk more about the positives in their relationships. And y'all, I totally agree. I feel like we're in a culture where like with TikTok and everything that we like to share only like the bad things, which is weird because I feel like social media before was more like, oh, we're gonna share all the good things, and I thought it would like neutralize into like we're sharing everything. But it's, I definitely see more negativity, and especially with relationships and stuff like that. I think I've seen a change because people are only showing the positives, and like this is not realistic. And totally fair. We know that every relationship has their difficulties and everything, but I think it's important to talk about the positives, obviously, with anything, but definitely relationships. And this person said that they saw that their old friends would always talk shit about their partners, and they're like, well, why are you with your partners if they're so shitty? But then they're like, oh, you don't see the whole picture kind of thing. And I totally get that. And I wish people would talk more about the positives in their relationships. I always talk about my positives. For me, for my negative stuff, I talk about that with my therapist. I don't necessarily need to talk about that with everyone. Like I can talk about it with my friends if we're being real and like, you know, we need advice. But on the general topic, I'm usually talking about issues I have with my husband or with my therapist. It's not my friends. And I usually like to uplift my partner actually around my friends, or be real, or honestly around his friends. I do like to uplift him a lot with his friends because I feel like, I don't know, but like masculine relationships are really weird and hard, and I feel like they're always in competition with each other, and my husband does not do that. He does not like boast out. He does not like saying that he's a aerospace engineer or like aka rocket scientist, but I call him that and I always brag about him to people. His workspace is all like males, and it's very like, I feel like a toxic environment sometimes. Oh my god, the things he tells me, it's kind of horrible. So I try to like always uplift him even when I talk to other strangers. And I do be real too, like I'll say like, oh yeah, we were fighting because of blah blah this and that, and he did, you know. I like to talk about the positives more because it's just nicer that way, I guess. And like it's easy for me to do it honestly because I love him so much. And like with my previous partner, I would always be talking about the positives because I was trying to hide the negatives. So maybe with your friends who are always talking about the negatives, check up on the relationship because we never know. Okay. All right. It's been a couple hours now. My battery died, so I was charging for like literally like 4 hours now, or I don't know, but it's felt like forever. The lighting's probably changed. I try to not blow out. It's just so bright right now, which is weird because it's been like very cloudy for the past few days. There's actually a storm coming in, so I'm just surprised at how like bright this looks right now. Hopefully it's not too bad or distracting. I try to start another project. I try to start my Rosa Cardigan by Ella, but I kept messing up the foundation chain, and I think it's just because I was doing like 5 things at one time and like switching my tasks. So I'm gonna film this video and do that later. But I'm still working on this. I've made a little bit more progress, but let's go back to the questions, shall we? Let me pull it up. Also, I was taking pictures earlier of my Wisteria top, so there's that, and I'm very excited how it turned out. I look very masked in it, and I really dig that. I'm trying to dress more balanced or be more comfortable dressing in certain types of clothing, because I feel like this past few months I've been very like experimental with how I dress like I used to, so I'm trying to see what I like. But I guess I can show you the picture, one of the pictures. Well, or not. Probably not. Let's see. Picture's also blown out, but anyways, let's pull up the questions. But I had a nice lunch. It was a leftovers. It was just like ground chicken, rice, and broccoli, because that's all I'm craving lately. It was ground beef and broccoli and rice, but I've been eating too much red meat, and I feel like my blood pressure is going a little bit higher as more normal, so yeah. Okay, so this next question or topic is, it's still a bit awkward for me, but honestly, sex from a healthy and honest perspective, of course. And I totally agree. I feel like sex is not really talked about a lot, and I grew up in a Christian family, and literally it was never talked about until I got married. And like, I wish at least like I got some proper like sex education, and I did get sex education in school, but you know, it's very much the generic type, and I feel like it wasn't really taken seriously because obviously we're in middle school and we can't comprehend that stuff. And I feel like sex is such a big taboo everywhere. It's because of religious reasons, because of societal reasons, also like cultural and gender, you know that kind of thing. And I honestly wish I got better sex education. I grew up in a Christian family, so that was never talked about. So a lot of it was like trial and error on my part, and a lot of it was like, I guess, talking amongst friends and doing your own research. And honestly, thankfully, there's also like a lot of creators on YouTube and everything that talk openly about like sex and, you know, everything around it. Like Megan Hughes, I forget her name, but Maddie something. They talk about it very openly, and honestly, we need more of those people, because like, especially for like femme people, it's like we need that space, we need that like big sister type of energy. And as an only child, I feel like I definitely needed that growing up, because there's so much things that come with just sex, and it's like a very broad topic obviously, but there's like safety, there's what you like, there's like the kink and fetish community, there's even like, you can even talk about like sex workers and everything like that, right? It's a very taboo topic though, and I feel like for the longest time I felt very shameful talking about it or even doing it, because again, I grew up in a Christian household, and even after I was married, I was like, this feels wrong, even though it's not. It's totally normal, it's healthy. Like, I wish I could go back and talk to my younger self and be like, hey, here's the tools. But you know, we can't go back in time, so that sucks. I don't know, but I guess sex is very subjective, and I honestly have learned more and more about just the human body in general going into nursing school, which is kind of wild because it took me this long, thanks educational system, to learn about my body and like just human bodies in general, and it's just weird. But if there's any more specifics you guys want to talk about in that subject, let me know, because I'm down to talk about sex, sexuality, all that kind of stuff. And yeah, but I agree. Okay, next question and topic. How to actually make friends in your 20s / organize a truly loving community. And this is kind of similar, how to deal with situations that society perceives as taboo. Actually that's separate. But how to actually make friends in your 20s / organize a truly loving community. Honestly, I don't have the best advice for that. I too am in my 20s. I just turned 26 actually, like 2 weeks ago, and I've definitely been struggling making more like IRL friends. I have a bunch of friends that I've met through the crochet community and everything on Instagram, but they're like states away from me, and time zones away from me, so which sucks, but I love them. I love my URL friends, but in real life friends is very hard for me. It goes back again to the first question or / topic that I mentioned about how to cultivate like friendships with an adult and everything like that. And it's just, honestly, I feel like I've gone through a lot of heartbreaks from all the friendships that I've tried to start, and like, you know, I sound sad right now because I low-key am, because, you know, nothing's worse than a friendship breakup, honestly. A breakup like with your partner obviously is hard, because it's like romantic feelings plus maybe like platonic feelings, because, you know, like again what I mentioned earlier, oh my god, it's so blurry. What I mentioned earlier was that I'm basically married to my best friend, and so I feel like that would be like double grief for me if we ever did split, which we're not, knock on wood. And yeah, I feel like actually making new friends is very hard for a person with social anxiety. I totally get that. Like, I have suffered from social anxiety since I was basically I think middle school, and I just kind of dealt with it by myself, and try to, like, I guess, do exposure therapy with myself, and like just put myself in situations that would just get me out of like that comfort zone. But it really is hard to be like, hey, this is me, you want to be friends? It's like dating, you know. And I know there's a bunch of apps nowadays like Bumble and stuff where you can like actually like make friends like via dating apps and whatever, but I feel like it's just less genuine. Like my friend who I made like 2-3 years ago now, Maddie, we met at a church that we used to go to, and she approached me while we're in line waiting for coffee, and we've just been friends since. And honestly, she's like one of my like best friends and true friends that I have. I didn't say had. Did I say had? Have. I literally saw her last weekend. Have. And I feel like those type of friendships are just so like unique, and there's just that easy connection. I feel like that's another thing too. You just gotta go to things that you would know that people have the same interests as you. Like for me, I would go to a crochet group, and back then I went to like church groups, and it was hard with like the panini and like flu season and everything, but when you feel comfortable, or if it's a safe space, you know, try to put yourself out there, and organize a truly loving community. I don't know. Okay, so I have a Discord and I love it. I just let it like roam free and like let people do whatever they want there and make friends. That was the whole point of it. But in real life community, I've always wanted. I had one before when I was going to church often, and you know, that's a nice thing I think about like religious gatherings, is that you have a community essentially that you can go to and everything, hopefully. But in my case, not all the time, but I think it just happens within time, because I feel like, and also maybe the lack of social media, because my family, like my parents, they were able to make friends so genuinely, and like just through like work, or like finding other like at the time finding other Filipinos, because there wasn't a lot of Filipinos in our area where we used to live, and that's how we became friends with those people. And we've literally moved to states with like the other people in our group, and they've just become like second family to us, which is kind of like sorry, I'm looking at my face because I feel like I am blurry as frick right now. But yeah, my family was able to make friends pretty genuinely through work, and like finding just communities and everything like that. So I feel like that would be my biggest advice. I don't know, this is not an advice section, but I feel like that would be the biggest thing that we could do, because I also need to do that. But it's very daunting again, and if you have social anxiety, it's like, ooh, another thing to deal with, really. But we shall get there. I feel like we're gonna look back from our 30s and we'll be like, oh my gosh, we have so many friends now, and like honest to God friends that we love, and they're like family to us. Because I think it's also hard when you're online and you see like these friend groups and you're like, ooh, FOMO. But like those things happen very, I feel like, randomly and over time. And so I feel like we shouldn't beat ourselves up if we can't immediately make a friend group. I stopped using my like main Instagram, like my personal Instagram, because I would see all like the friend groups and would feel like FOMO, and so I decided just not to do that and save myself and work on myself to meet, you know, friends that I actually lined up with. And yeah, just waiting right now too. But the other question was how to deal with situations that society perceives as taboo. I'd be happy to give examples. Oh, I didn't ask them for examples. Shoot. But if you're watching this video, please leave in the comments what your examples were going to be. How to deal with those situations. I feel like in order to deal with those situations is to get the full story, and that takes time. Full story, and also like understand the situation where the person is coming from and their background. I know it's really hard, I think nowadays too, with cancel culture, to really like let people talk. I know it's hard. Sometimes giving spaces to those people are dangerous, but at the same time, in order to actually talk about these situations and like topics, like the taboo topics, openly, and maybe somehow give them insight for them to change their mind or not change their mind, we have to be very open and kind ourselves. Because I feel like in our side we're like, oh, these people are so not open to, you know, the new way of things, or like, oh, they're so close-minded, they're so like bigot, racist, whatever, that kind of thing, right? And it's true, they are. But at the same time, I think because people keep, one, either feeding their beliefs, or people keep attacking them, it's hard for them to be like, yeah, I want to think like those people that are also attacking me. Like, you know what I mean? And it's very hard, and sometimes you do need to like go off on people, don't get me wrong, but I feel like a lot of times we can take time and just talk about it for a second. So I guess just being open. Oh, so I messed up here. But being open, communicative, and, you know, going about things with kindness for the most part will get you a long way with these kind of conversations, I feel like. Yeah, I mean, like, I'm trying to think of a topic. So I know in the Filipino culture, and I think a lot of Asian cultures, there's like colorism and racism towards darker skinned people. And I'm just speaking for my culture and my family. I'm Filipino, and there's this whole thing about like, because we were colonized by Spain, where if your family was colonized by Spain and you're whiter, or you were colonized by, you know, you married lighter skinned Asians or Americans or white people, whatever, you were seen better. You were seen more like upper and intelligent. If you could speak English, you were more intelligent. And I do not believe in that. I do not subscribe to that mentality anymore. I was raised that way, but I hate that mentality with a passion. And every time I talk to my mom specifically, sorry mom if you're watching this, every time I speak to my mom specifically, she'll say something about like, oh, wait, let me give a specific example. But last time she was saying like she needed to buy a bunch of whitening products because she was getting darker in the Philippines because she just retired there. She's getting darker and she was getting quote unquote dirty looking. And so I'm like, what do you mean by that, or whatever? And she's saying like, oh, I'm just getting darker. I'm like, oh, and like have, you know, these spots. I'm like, oh, okay, well, wear sunscreen, you know, as long as those spots don't become something bad and you take care of yourself, you're fine. And then she's like, yeah, but I'm so dark, like so dark. And you know what she's trying to say, right? And I was like, oh, okay, mom, I mean, your skin's beautiful and people would die to have your tan, because literally people here go under UVs and stuff. That's yeah, it's another story. But like, I want to be very petty. That's the thing that goes through my head when I'm hearing like these racist, colorist stuff. But again, we gotta approach it with kindness, and think about our response and be like, okay, my mind is saying all these petty stuff and harsh things because what they're saying should warrant that, but I don't know. Yeah, if you have specific scenarios, put it down below. We can talk about more in the comments. I'd love to talk about. Next topic is mental health / nursing / literally anything that you love. Well, I can talk about the mental health / nursing. I feel like mental health is definitely not a thing at all talked about in the nursing field, even though we're taught about it and we're taught about how to deal with patients who have mental health crises and all that kind of thing, and how to talk to them. But in regards to taking care of our own self and each other mentally, I don't think it's talked about that much. And sadly, it's led to a lot of like dark things, and I feel like that's why nurses burn out so easily, and we tend to have destructive coping mechanisms, such as like, for me it was drinking and overeating. I've been sober now for like 3-ish years, I believe, but the overeating and binge eating and just eating my eating disorder is hard to deal with. It has its seasons for sure, and so I feel like I really want to spread more awareness and like always remind people to check up on their medical people, like, you know, nurses, doctors, psychiatrists, therapists. If you have those type of people in your life, in your family, your friends, please check up on them, because I feel like we take up so much of people's trauma, whether it be mentally or physically, and it just builds up and then it kind of like ruins us. And honestly, that's the thing that I'm always scared about when it comes to nursing, because even when I'm just doing clinicals and when I was working before, I would always low-key let myself go. But there's always seasons, right? There's seasons where I'm super healthy, and then there's seasons where it's just really, really bad. And it's sad because I feel like too, a lot of hospitals and institutions and facilities or whatever don't prioritize mental health sickness over physical sickness. Like if you have the flu, if you have COVID, obviously don't come to work. But if you're feeling like you're gonna, like you're a little couch potato and you can't get up regardless of anything, they're like, no, you can just come to work. And I feel like that's so dangerous for one, and so insensitive, because I feel like our mental health really, really affects how we work, at least for me, and I know it does for others, and we're just not talking about it. And I know a lot of the time people just hold it in until they can't, and then they blow up in a very dangerous way. And so I feel like nurses should have that space where we can just like let go, and that trust that we know what's going on with our minds and bodies to take a rest and not be judged, for one. I feel like people are like, yeah, nursing, you have to be so strong, but we're like, we're human, okay? Like, people who become nurses, or, you know, at least for me and a lot of people I know, we become nurses because we want to help people. We want to be there for people. And I know for me, I want to be a nurse because I want to be that good interaction someone has in the medical field, because I know there's so many bad interactions, and I want to help people because I understand. I've been in those people's shoes before, you know. I've been a patient. I've been trying to fight for my life while like medical professionals are like, oh, you're fine, just take these medications. I get it. So I want to be that person that they can trust and go to. But it's hard when you're so burnt out and like literally this close to like not existing, right? So yes, I feel like mental health nursing, it goes hand in hand, and thankfully I have a therapist, so I have that space. But I would love to have like a space, like whether it just be online or whatever, where nurses can like share their struggles and have an open forum, and like we can uplift each other and, you know, not tear each other down, because I think that's an issue too with nursing. A lot of nurses tear other nurses down, and especially like new grads and stuff like that. So yeah, I know the person who asked this, I believe their dad's a nurse, so let me know what your dad says about like how he feels about nursing and mental health together, like as the nurse. Okay, the next topic is crochet burnout, and don't I know it? I have definitely felt crochet burnt out a couple of times, but I think what's helped me like not completely go into the like derail is I take breaks in between, especially on the weekends, and I do other stuff other than crocheting. If you're feeling crochet burnt out, like, please be honest with yourself and honest with, you know, the people. Like, if you have like a Instagram like me and people look for your content, be honest with them and be like, hey, I'm burning out, so either I'm not gonna post for a couple weeks, even months, or I'm gonna post random stuff that's just my everyday life, and that's not crochet. That's okay. I feel like I have seasons where all I want to show is crochet, and seasons where I want to just show my life, and others where I'm just like doing both, right? And I think that's fine. I think that's what my followers I guess expect of me, because I already put that expectation. But if you want to take a break or reinvent your stuff, just do it. I mean, it's just your page. It's like you can do whatever you want. You don't need a permission. But if that's an important thing to you, go for it. But I feel like a lot of people this year I've seen have crochet burnout so much on my Instagram, including myself. And I think it's too, at least for me, it's when I'm doing a lot of tests and not a lot of personal projects. Like right now I do have a lot of tests, but it's also a lot of things that I do want to make that would have made even if I wasn't testing, and personal projects like this, which is for a gift and stuff like that. And I am making a Tunisian ear warmer, and so I need stuff like that, I feel, to make me feel like I love crocheting again, you know. And I think for me too, it's hard to keep making designs or keep making clothing out of other people's patterns that I'm not necessarily like lining up with at the moment, because that's why I felt like I have a lot of crochet clothes, but my style changed so much over the few months or even weeks that like sometimes I'll be in the middle of a making when I'm like, this is not my style anymore, but it's still cute, you know. And it's hard when your style changes so much and then you feel like burnt out because you're like, well, I had to finish it, you know, especially if it's a test and everything. But I totally feel you with the crochet burnout, you know. You just gotta let yourself, honestly, take rest. Take rest. That's my biggest thing. Just give yourself some time to rest and don't force yourself to come back and crochet until you're like itching to crochet, okay? Like you need to crochet or you will pass out. So yeah. Okay, I think I have like two or three more topics. Two a little bit more like heavy and one is more fun, I guess. So the first question is maybe just balancing life and wanting to be active on social media. So, okay, balancing life and wanting to be active on social media. I don't really have I guess I do have a social life, but I'm very picky with who I hang out with and when. Again, I've been working on myself this past year and I realized that I was only really hanging out with people because of FOMO. Stopping myself and like not using my personal Instagram has been helping me a lot not feel that FOMO and really like work on myself. And so I don't really feel that need to have a very active social life. Like I can, like these days I only really plan to hang out with friends or other people other than my husband like once or twice a month. Twice is a lot actually, but this past month for sure there's been a lot because it's like the holidays and people are inviting us to Christmas parties and stuff like that. So that's what we've been doing. But like when I have like school, right now I'm on kind of a break. I mean, we're all mostly online and then we have a break for 2 weeks with school and social life and my relationships and doing social media is very much a balancing trick. I want to give myself a schedule to follow. Luckily I've been able to upload a video every Monday this month, which is kind of crazy for me and unheard of, but I think scheduling like when to do things is very crucial. And even though like it feels like force, I think it's needed, especially for me because I have ADHD and I also tend to procrastinate a lot when it comes to things that make me anxious, like hanging out with people or starting a project or something. So scheduling yourself and holding yourself accountable, that'll probably be the hardest part, for at least for me. It is holding myself accountable to follow that schedule and to follow those rules I have for myself. But for me, social media is like kind of a secondary thing, I guess. All my friends are there, so I go on it often and talk to my URL friends, and that's about it. But feeling the obligation to post and stuff like that is not really in me. Like I post because I have fun editing the pictures and taking pictures and making the reels and videos and everything, but I don't feel necessarily obligated to do it to get like followers and stuff. I feel obligated to post obviously the pictures because I have the pattern test and everything when I do those things, but other than that I don't feel the obligation to always be on social media, which I think is probably another advice I would give. Is just it's easier said than done to be like, oh yeah, don't put importance on social media and just like have fun with it, because some people actually use it for revenue and to get revenue like as a marketing thing, and they do want followers, and that's totally understandable. So don't follow my advice, I guess, on that if you do want those things. But yeah, I just think it's a fun thing to do on the side, and like really to meet new friends, because I love meeting all my crochet friends and everything. So yeah, big topic before the more chill one. I think one topic of discussion that isn't really discussed that much in the community is that the pressure for people who make and sell physical items to sell them as their own / their own designs. It's incredibly common for non-crocheters to assume that most crocheters have made and designed their own products, and I think it puts a lot of pressure on those who do sell their items to have credit for the designs of the items they are selling. I also feel like many crocheters are afraid that they're going to lose a customer by providing proper credit to a designer, as if they are just handing over the pattern. However, the clientele between a designer and someone who sells physical items is completely different. People who sell physical items are selling to people who cannot crochet anyways. Not sure if that makes sense, but that's my personal opinion from my own personal experience and some conversations I've had with people. And I really didn't really think about this as much. I feel like I haven't had that many like conversations about this type of subject, and I'm not really knowledgeable on it, but I think it's a very interesting topic of discussion where like I think I've seen a lot of creators put either like, no, you can't sell this finished product, but for the most common part I've seen is that pattern creators will just let people sell the finished product but not obviously the pattern, and that's totally fine, and I agree with that. Like if people, I don't know, actually I'm thinking about it, I agree with the fact that if you buy a design, you should be able to make it for people and sell it, but I also understand the other side where you don't want them to sell finished things and you want people to go directly to you, but I feel like you should make that clear if you want that to happen. I know also people do that for like, so Shein and those big like fashion companies don't steal the designs from the small creators, and that's totally understandable too. I don't know, I don't do customs again, and I don't make things for people, so I feel like I haven't gone through that a lot. I feel like people are like, hey, can you do something like this for me? Or if they see a post that I've done with the pattern itself, like for my pattern test and everything, they'll be like, hey, can you make me something like that? And I'm like, yeah, if it's okay with the creator. And I just like message them, or I look at their pattern and see if it says that I can use it to make finished products and stuff like that. I don't know if I've been out of focus this whole time. I'm sorry if I have been, but yeah, I also feel like many crocheters are afraid that they're going to lose a customer by providing proper credit to designers as they're handing over the pattern ever. Yeah, I feel like people not in the fiber arts world won't understand what patterns even really is and how it works, I feel like, unless you're really into the fiber arts community, and I feel like that's pretty common. So I feel like explaining to them that, hey, it's not my design, but I have permission to use it. So here, but if they don't feel comfortable with that either, then like that's fair. So I feel like still fair for them to feel uncomfortable because they don't have the experience. And also I feel like in this day and age we've been more careful, at least for me. I feel like I've learned to be careful what the things I see on like TikToks and stuff like that, and be like, are they the original creators? Like, especially if I'm gonna recreate something, like there's two lesbian TikTok couple, Camila and something, I forget their name, but they're having a baby and they're making like these cute furnitures by themselves on their TikToks and everything. Oh, sorry, you can't even see what I'm making. On their TikToks and everything, and people saw the original video of the girl who started their like flower mirror thing, and they were like kind of attacking the girl, being like, you just copied this, you just copied Camila and blah blah blah. I and then people are also saying like, did you not look at Camila's video where she said she saw some other girl do this and this girl uploaded it before they did? And so it's like there's like this debate, you know, with everything and recreating things even out of the fiber arts community and like selling it as your own. And it's very, I feel like it's a little bit problematic, and like it's a lot of like touch and go areas. But I feel like if you just talk to the person, the original person, or at least the person you got inspiration from, or at least credit them, I feel like it's fine. And you're honest with your clients about like, oh, this is where I got the inspiration from, instead of being like, it's just my original idea. And sometimes people do think they make original ideas and it comes out as like it's not original, like someone else made it, and you know, they had no awareness of it. And I feel like that's also a gray area. Like it's fine, but at the same time, like if you're gonna like sell something, still, even after you realize someone already had that pattern, it's like you know, like with the new Wednesday show, she has that like black and white checkered sweater that everyone loves, and I think it's cute, and everyone is trying to recreate it. And there was this one creator like that recreated it, and people were telling her like, hey, the original creator and designer was like, we don't want people to sell it as their own and like, you know, claim that they did it first, because like for the patterns and everything, because it's theirs. And I remember someone called out this person, and they're like saying like, oh yeah, I did talk to the designer, and they show the receipts and whatever, but in the end and then the person was gonna make it free, but in the end she ended up like charging a fee for some of it. Like it was free on her blog or whatever, and then the PDF printable version was paid for. And I'm like, that's still the same thing. And I know people do that where they have like free stuff on their blog, and then if you want a PDF you can pay for it. But like, you just talk to the designer, and like they already said you don't want people to pay for that design, because then it's like you saying that that's your I don't know. I feel like, I don't know if it's gonna get me in trouble, but I just feel like it's kind of ridiculous. And this whole thing, I feel like, is such a gray area, and that's just my opinion on things. You know, again, if you guys want to have a discussion, we can do it in the comments below. But yeah, I'm down for a discussion anytime. This video is probably like everywhere, and me repeating things. Hopefully me editing isn't too annoyed by herself now, but thanks for joining this crochet with me, even though I don't know if you guys were able to see my crochet the whole time, my crochet project. But it was nice just like talking here with you guys and doing this like passively. But I'm almost done with the like neck part, and I think I just need this one row and it'll be 8 inches, and then I'm gonna start making the hood. I'll probably like update by the end of the vlog how this is going, because I'll be uploading this on Monday. But yes, thanks for joining. Hey guys, thanks for watching my video. I'm filming this again just to say, I don't know if I actually said it in the video, but all these are my opinions, and you know, take them with a grain of salt. But I hope, you know, I stirred up some conversation within yourselves, within your own life, with people in it and stuff like that, because these topics I feel like are really important to talk about, regardless if they matter to you or not. Because just, again, if they don't matter to you doesn't mean they don't matter in the grand scheme of things. Also, yes, I'm wearing a Try Guys hoodie. I used to be obsessed with them, and honestly their merch is so comfy. So yeah, but anyways, thanks for watching my video, guys. I really appreciate it, and it's honestly been so fun to film random snippets of my life, and I think I'm gonna continue to vlog. I don't know about uploading every week, but
it's been fun. And, let me know down below too if there's any like specific content you guys want to see from me. And I'll try to do them. Yeah. But anyways, have a good day, guys. Bye.